I'm very pleased at the way that the majority has held up in Cardiff South and Penarth. It's been an interesting election. It's been different. We've had a lot of candidates, and that has led to some very interesting hustings meetings. I'm particularly pleased that we've seen so many volunteers, new people, young people coming in to work within the party, so that to me the campaign has actually been quite an exciting one. I feel that the Labour Party in Cardiff South and Penarth is in better shape than it ever has been, and we come out with a group of people who've been working very hard right across the constituency. And I think that reflects something that's happened in this election, that to start with it looked as if it was going to be very easy. Labour in government for 13 years, far longer than we'd ever had a period in government. That's a very challenging position from which to win a further election. And yet, far from being swept away in a blue tide, we've seen the vote holding up. We've seen people supporting, being very, very friendly and positive around the constituency, and I hear that colleagues have found that in other constituencies as well. So I think politics and political discussion is alive and well in this country, and what has happened is we've moved on from the leaders' debates that looked as if they were sort of X factor, just about who was the nicest person, to talking about policies. And I think in the long term that's going to be very good for politics in the UK generally.
And what would be your plans for your next term in Parliament?
I very much want to fight for the things I believe in. First and foremost, the interests of Cardiff South and Penarth. I mean, my first 8 years in Parliament were fighting to get the Cardiff Bay barrage built, which of course has been an enormous benefit to the constituencies. That's a very local issue, but then things run right across the sort of policies that have enabled the Welsh Assembly to be established, and I was very proud to be its First Minister. The way in which we rebuild the economy, making sure that in order to deal with the deficit that the recession gives us, we do so in a way that doesn't undermine the chances of the economy recovering. I very much also want to play a part in some things that may seem smaller to people, but I think are very important. For instance, the enhancement of the role of the voluntary sector, volunteering, the things that I've played a part in environment, looking at making the internet safer and reducing crime. Those are the things I'm passionate about, which I've been able to make a contribution to over the years, and I want to consider, if anything, I want to be accelerating the work I do on those issues.
Are there any local issues specific to Cardiff that you'll be pushing forward?
Well, I very much want to see a vision of Cardiff linking to the areas around. For instance, I'd love to see the Headland Walkway built, which would link Cardiff to Penarth and the Vale, and which I believe would give a future to Penarth. I want to see decisions taken, for instance, to protect the Rumney recreation ground against the piece of civic vandalism that the Liberal Democrats, supported by Plaid Cymru, want to inflict on the eastern part of my constituency. So there are local issues, but I believe that this city of Cardiff has a great future, and I want that revived, working with people in the Assembly, Lorraine Barrett, and in the future Vaughan Gething in my own constituency, and with people in local government. I think we need a refreshing of local government in 2 years' time. Cardiff seems to be rudderless at the moment. It's run by the Liberal Democrats. It's not a very progressive or dynamic city at the moment, though it has been in the past, and I want to see that revived. And that needs a partnership across the levels of government, national government, Welsh Assembly government, and local government. And of course in my constituency we have both Cardiff and the Vale of Glamorgan, so we're able to compare performance. I think this area has a terrific future. The city is now a great city, but it could just slip backwards unless we have representatives who at every level are willing to fight and work to make it a great city for the future.